All right, so this is the last in our series of videos for solving equations, at least for this point in math. And so I have two more situations that I would like to show you. One of them is one that just kind of confuses some people because they haven't seen it really. So how about something like 3x plus 5 divided by 9 equals 4. Okay, now a lot of people are used to saying, oh, well, we got to get rid of that plus 5 first, and then we get rid of the 3, and so on. But there actually is some parentheses here that we don't see. They go around the denominator. I mean, not the denominator, the numerator, and so we got to get rid of the stuff outside the parentheses first. Now, if you listened to the way that I described the problem or that I read the problem, it actually makes it fairly easy to do this. Again, 3x plus 5 divided by 9 equals 4. So the divided by 9, the opposite of divided by 9 is times 9. So we're going to go 9 times on this side and times 9 on this side. Now, there's a few people that might try to distribute here. Please don't. The reason why we went times 9 is because there's already a divided by 9, and those cancel each other. They just become a 1. And 1 times anything is just the anything. So we just have 3x plus 5 equals 4 times 9 is 36. Now we have just a normal two-step equation. I'm going to go subtract 5 from both sides. And 3x equals 31. Divide by 3, divide by 3. And so x equals 31 thirds, or 10 and 1/3. You could go 10.33 repeating, with the little line over, like 10.33 repeating. Any of those would be the right answer. Now, if you just wrote 10.3, that's wrong. Okay? Now, if you put the little repeating line over it, then you're good to go. Okay? So this is just an example of something you might see. Well, eventually you will see it. And so you needed to have a good idea of how to take care of this one. All right. So the next one is one of the interesting ones, at least to me it is. And this is one that there are no numbers in it. And this really bothers some people. So if I said, let's see, ax plus b equals c. And then I tell you that I want you to solve for x. Well, if you go back in your notes a little bit, you will see where I talk about the fact that solving for x just means that we're going to try to get this x by itself. That's very, very important. So we treat everything else as if it's a number, okay, or a constant. So in this case, again, we have to look at the side. So I'm going to do my little dotted line. So we're looking at the side with the x, so the left-hand side. Well, we have some multiplication and we got some addition. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of the addition. Well, it says plus b. Well, if b was any kind of a number, we'd just go subtract that number. Well, that's what we're going to do here with the b. We're just going to go minus b. Minus b. So these two go to 0, and we still have a x equals, and then you can't do anything on the right-hand side with this. So it's just c minus b. We can't simplify that, it's just C minus B. And actually, if you think about it, that almost makes this easier because we don't have to actually do the math. So again, we look back over on the side with the x, and now we say, okay, that's A times x. A times x. So to get rid of the A, we got to go divide by A. So I'm going to divide by A, divide by A, and that just leaves us x equals C minus B divided by A. And that's it. Now some people might write that C over A minus B over A, and that's still correct. I just like it in the simple form, so I write it just C minus B over A. And this is all there is to solving an equation where all we have is variables. Okay, and we solve for a particular one. We could have given this same exact one and said solve for B or solve for A. And if we said solve for C, then that would be kind of ridiculous because C is already by itself, so it's already solved for C. Okay, so let's try one more. And in this one, let's see. Let's do A, B plus X equals C. Okay, and we're still going to do the same thing here. We're still going to say solve for X. Again, it doesn't really matter. We can solve for any variable we want. But we're going to solve for X. So there's our little dotted line. We got to look at the side with the X. Oh, it's right here. So we have two choices. We can either distribute this A, which is something that a lot of you have been doing, which is just fine. And then we could take care of it from there. Or we could say, oh, right now we have A times this stuff inside the parentheses. So to get rid of A times something, well, we have to divide by A. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go divided by A. And if I divide by A on one side, I need to divide by A on the other side. These cancel and become a 1, which makes it kind of disappear. And we end up with B plus X equals C divided by A. And then the last thing, let's see, this B plus X, it's a positive B, so I need to subtract B from both sides. Subtract B. This goes away, and we just have X equals C divided by A minus B. So the big thing I want you to understand here is that even though we are dealing with letters, all of the rules are exactly the same as they would be with numbers. I could have done this the other way. I could have distributed the A to begin with and gotten A times B plus A times X equals C, and then subtract AB from both sides and then divide by A, and it would have come out to be the same thing. You would have had to simplify it a little bit more at the very end, but yeah, it would have come out to be the same thing. I just liked this way a little bit better because I didn't have to simplify. Okay, so the next video we do will actually be on to the next concept and such, because you're only going to have 2 videos this week because of the field trip to the Uintas tomorrow and then the quiz on Friday. So just a couple of videos this week, and that's about it. So make sure that you're prepared for the quiz on Friday, and we'll see you then.